Hi, Ms. Lancaster here. Just wanted to do a quick video kind of discussing the things that you should focus on while reading chapter one. Um, this is your social problems class, so you should be reading chapter one for social problems. And really what this chapter is discussing is starting us out on thinking about it, what exactly a social problem is. I really kind of like how the definition of a social problem is important in understanding that there's multiple ways that things can be a social problem. So as your book talks about, it's a social problem is a social condition, an event, or a pattern of behavior that negatively affects the well-being of a significant number of people or significant people. Okay, so when we think about it, a social condition, an event, or a pattern of behavior. So just some examples to kind of think about it. A social condition would be poverty, right? That's a condition in which people live. A social event. The most recent one that pops to mind automatically to me is COVID, where it altered people's lives. It could be a hurricane, it could be an earthquake, it could be a fire, right? Those are events that take place that alter the lifestyle of individuals. Pattern of behavior, one that we will actually be looking at this semester would be like drug use. Okay, that's a pattern of behavior, drug use, drug abuse. Okay, so really kind of thinking about that as this chapter is really getting you into recognizing how we can look at social problems from a sociological standpoint. Okay, some real important pieces is recognizing both the objective and the subjective aspects of a social problem. The objective aspects being that concrete data, the statistics, um, that tell us how many people are experiencing this problem. But the subjective data is important because it kind of tells us how they're experiencing it, right? So the numbers and the whys and the hows and all of those, both aspects kind of give us a better picture of what a social problem is. Okay, social problems are constructed. Social constructionism is extremely important in recognizing when thinking about social problems. That's the social process of defining what is a problem and what is not. If you were in my seated class, I would share this image. So I'm going to share it right now. Um, because I think that it's important to kind of recognize how we can construct something as being a problem in society. As we get through different chapters, you'll recognize it specifically in the media chapter. We can make things appear to be a problem that may not actually be a problem. So I like to share this because it does have some objective facts, right? But subjectively, it is trying to alter the way that we see this. So this I use again, this deadly facts about water. These are all true statements, all facts about water that it can be synthesized and burning by burning rocket fuel. That overconsumption can lead to sweating, urination, and death. That serial killers, 100% of serial killers, drug dealers, rapists, all of these bad people in society drink water. Water is one of the primary ingredients of herbicides and pesticides that kills. Water is the leading cause of drowning, and 100% of people who are exposed to water will die. If we looked at just those facts in this subjective way to kind of really think about water being deadly, we could really be afraid of water. So just kind of recognizing that objective information and subjective information are both kind of used in the construction of what a problem is. And what's a problem to one person may not necessarily be a problem to another. Um, and that's kind of really where we have to use our sociological imagination. If you've taken intro to sociology, you should be familiar with the sociological imagination. If you haven't, it's really understanding the idea of how our personal lives and our social world are connected, and what's happening in my personal life may be a result of what's going on in the social world, and I'm probably not the only person experiencing these social issues. So there's this ripple between the personal and the public, and by using our sociological imagination, we can recognize and understand social problems better in seeing that a social problem is not an individual problem but a social event, a social issue. Okay. This chapter also is going to talk about theory, understanding theory and research. It's an overview of these of really, if you've taken intro to sociology, it's an overview review, right, of what makes sociology sociology, right? And if you haven't taken intro to sociology, it's kind of an overview getting you to understand that we are using research, and it gives you a little bit about the difference between quantitative and qualitative research and what those two types of research give us. And then it brings us right into those three major theoretical paradigms. All throughout the semester, we will be coming back to those three major theoretical paradigms with some specialized theories as well. But you really do want to understand structural functionalism. Everything in society has a purpose and a function, right? Helps to maintain stability and harmony. Just because something's problematic to the individual doesn't necessarily mean that it's problematic to society, okay? Conflict theory talks about how inequality and conflict underlie all of our social relationships, and that inequality is a result of conflict, but it also creates conflict, right? So there is this continuous competition um, for resources, right? And those that have resources want to keep them, those that don't have them want to get some, right? And then symbolic interactionism is really about that micro level theory of thinking about how we create meaning through our symbols and through our interactions, and that these continuous symbols and understandings that take place through all of our interactions shape the way we see our world, kind of that social constructionism piece. Okay, so understanding those is really important. At the end of this chapter, I will be posting what I refer to as my theory cheat sheet that gives you all of the basic information that you need regarding the theories, but you will be using theory in your very first chapter application assignment. So your first module assignment, not your introductory module assignment, but your first chapter 1 module assignment. So please get into the textbook right away, get started. You do need to do your entry verification in the course first. But then after that, jump right into the chapter 1 material. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.